Rosewater, the Wild West, 1850. Bar fights, dust storms and bandits. Fresh off the train, can Harley start her new life in this wild frontier, or will the lure of a secret treasure from an elusive doctor send her off on a wild adventure? This is Rosewater. Hello there and welcome to YakWaxLips. My name is Michael, your point-and-click adventurer, and I've been making videos about point-and-click adventure games for years. So if, like me, you love to point and click, please do so over the like, hit subscribe for more and turn on the bell. Be sure to sign up to my mail list in the description down below to get recommendations of adventure games and news straight to your inbox. Today I'm reviewing the highly anticipated Rosewater from developer Grundislav Games. Grundislav Games is solo developer Francisco Gonzalez, whose previous output includes the brilliant Ben Jordan series, Shardlight and Lamplight City. Harley, an ex-boxer turned journalist, has arrived in the town of Rosewater in West Vespuccia. As a young man optimistically approaches her with open arms and a smile, Harley takes her time, considers her options. Is this guy here to truly welcome her? Or is he part of a ruse to make her part with her cash? It is the Wild West after all. Playing Harley, we can decide right here and now how we approach the game. Shall we be nice? Sure, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Shall we be aggressive? Absolutely, tell him to leave her alone in a more harsh tone. Throughout the game, our choices will dictate where the story takes us. Harley at her core is a very strong-willed woman. She grew up on the mean streets of New Britannia, and Rosewater is a different world. As an ex-boxer, there are points where her fists can do the talking if you so wish, and it's this choice of options that is just one of the ways that Rosewater excites. On many occasions, it's possible to solve a puzzle by sheer brute force, where it can also be solved through inventory items or just a chat. Don't get me wrong though, there's no action adventure in sight, as every punch is just that, one punch and done. She was an ex-boxer after all. Harley has arrived in Rosewater for a new job as a journalist, and her first assignment is to cover a new show in town and interview its star, Gentleman Jake. It's this first assignment, however, that will take Harley on an adventure that covers the hundreds of miles of the Wild West and experience travellers, entertainers, mystical fortune tellers, secluded communities and bandits. Along the way, we'll be travelling with a band of 5 characters, all from different backgrounds and with their own expertise. This isn't a hard, violent west of the movies though. West of Vespuccia is home to people just trying to get by.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Oh, hello there. Where did you come from?
The wagon just down the road there. I was coming to see if...
Hold up there, stranger.
Pa, what are you doing?
I went into Rosewater naively expecting a gunslinging, rollicking George, but it is way more nuanced than that. For sure there are shootouts, but above all, this is a game about family. Francisco Gonzalez is a very good storyteller, and the story of Rosewater is split into 3, or rather it's bookended by 2 parts of the same story, with a myriad of adventures taking place in the middle act. The first act follows Harley in understanding the town and the people of Rosewater and the coming together of her 5 companions. There's the softly spoken medic Nadine, the passionate Spanish general Phil, the hard-headed tracker Lola, the gunslinging sidekick Danny, and the head honcho himself, Jake. With this band of misfits together, they go on the hunt of a certain treasure of the missing etheric doctor, Bennett Clark. Ethericity is the in-game version of electricity. It's a time of change, and some are for it and some are against it. It's a blanket of just off-centre realism that continues from Lamplight City. The treasure we hunt is on a long 9 or 10 day road trip away, and this makes up a hefty part of the game, and it's also where our band of separate characters becomes more like a family.
How are you liking the guitar?
It is a fine instrument. I have not had the opportunity to play in some time.
Favor us with a performance soon?
The music of Vespuccia is not to my taste, but I will play for you some songs from my country.
In the back of the small vehicle driven by Lola, we get the chance to ask questions of our fellow travellers, share stories, and understand their reasons for coming along on the hunt. The brilliance of this large chunk of the game isn't just the freedom it gives us, but also the incidents and locations we pass change. One playthrough of the game will differ from another, as only a select amount of interactions can we come across. From our start in Rosewater to our ending in El Presidio, we have to stop around 7 or 8 times, and it's up to us whether we want to help the fossil hunting woman out or just leave her be. Or maybe we can leave the guy dangling from a tower, or maybe we could save him. Each decision sets us up for a different experience later down the line. We become so close to our comrades that at first I just really wanted to get to El Presidio, but by the time we did get there, all I wanted to do was spend more time in the wagon with them. The writing of every single character is superb. It's written by both Francisco Gonzalez and Jess Haskins. We become so entwined in our comrades' lives that at times it can be very heartbreaking. Unexpected turns left me shocked and made me think that next time I'm going to take an alternative option.
Well, slap my behind and call me Betsy.
Not sure what I was expecting to find, but it wasn't this.
It has been completely ransacked.
Still, there's gotta be some indication of where Clark took his money. Let's take a look around. But watch yourselves. No telling what any of these doohickeys might be capable of.
Visually, it portrays the world of West Vespuccia in gorgeous pixels. As we travel across the land, the topography changes from browns and sands to green woods and finally steamy, foggy towns. Each of these, as expected, is beautifully handled. Each character has their own style and colour too. There's no copy and paste here. Even the background characters all have their own individuality. A lot of this comes down to the fact that they have been rotoscoped. To the layman, it's been filmed as a real person and then painted over with pixels. This goes as far as the animals too. It's a truly wonderful experience. Musically, just like Lamplight City, it has been scored by Mark Bennis. The orchestra contains full-on strings and percussion with heroic riffs and melodies that help you know this is definitely the West. The sound design is well balanced and once more orchestrated by Francisco. Unexpectedly, it is also fully voiced and it is stacked with talent. Harley Legere, played by Maya Murphy, gives her weight and a knowing confidence, with other standouts for me being Christian Lands, who voices Phil, and Gavin Hammond, who gives Gentleman Jake a cocky, worldly gab. But honestly, the talent on show is insurmountable.
Hey, nice one.
Not the most honorable way of winning a fight, but these boys were hardly playing fair.
Hey, Charlie. Looks like your guys weren't as tough as you hoped.
Whoo-wee! That got the old blood pumping.
As a point-and-click adventure game, it is on the easier side in regards to the puzzles. There are a few ways to solve a lot of the puzzles, but rather than bombard us with lots of inventory items and send us off doing many things, we can decide to focus on the one we prefer. We do, however, have an inventory, and that is tucked away at the top of the page or with a right click on the mouse. For the most part, we pick up papers and diaries, many of which contain vital clues. Size-wise, these are not inconsequential. There can be pages and pages of diaries to read if we wanted to really get to understand a part of a person's agenda. But we can get away with a quick skim too if needs be. Harley is also a dab hand with a lockpick, so we carry that around too. To use the inventory, a simple left click selects the item, then we hover over the hotspot and left to use. If something can't be used with something, then the item simply doesn't highlight and we can't click. Rather than the never-ending "that doesn't make sense" or "that doesn't work," we're left with a much leaner and convenient way to solve a puzzle. So I've covered the outstanding art and music, the exhilarating travelling plot through West Vespuccia, and the exquisite voice acting. But does it have any negatives? Well, not really. There's definitely not anything that brings the game down a mark or two. The biggest one for me is that a few of the mini-games seem a bit redundant and more going through the motions. At one point we have to choose what to eat one night, We can fish or we can hunt, and I opted to fish, and this was a bit dull and repetitive, but it was only a minute or so. It's also extremely dialogue heavy. I'm going to say this is a huge plus rather than a negative. The main story of the treasure hunt is more the undercurrent, with so many side quest type adventures to be had. Each one involves much discussion about each of our fellow companions. Getting to know them all is part of the thrill. What I will say is at times the voice volumes differ, with a line or two being too loud or too quiet, but this is something that can easily be fixed in a patch. So, a few small mini games aside, it's pretty much faultless. It even has an almost infinite amount of save spots, which for me is a dream. Rosewater hits every single mark with art, music, story and puzzles, and leaves me wanting even more. Which is perfect as I head into yet another playthrough for a different experience once more. It hits the headlines with a huge 10 out of 10 from me. Get your copy of Rosewater for the PC from the link in the description below. Thank you to Publishers Application Systems Heidelberg for the review copy, and thanks for watching. Join my Patreon to help shine a light on even more adventure games, and until next time, have a wonderful morning, afternoon or evening, whatever it is you're doing right now. Take care.